would you prefer Emo to be like a completely like new original character, like someone from the Void Century or something, or would you prefer Emo to be someone we actually have seen, like met and seen in the story before?
Like Gin.
Like Gin.
All right, shut up now, guys. We're going to start the episode. I'm starting the episode, which means that we're going to keep things in order. So hello and welcome to the Blue Banana Podcast, your weekly source of entertainment and good friendship from your three pals, Liam, Manu, and Sophie.
Podcast.
Yes. The most consistent weekly podcast. I think we all have an excuse, though. I feel like we're like in cyclical order, terribly sick.
The key term being sick in cyclical. I don't even know how long it's been, to be honest.
I was just trying to calculate that, which is why it was so quiet. I was like, I don't even remember the last time we recorded.
Did we do an episode in December?
I don't
think so. There was a period where all three of us got sick in weekly sequentials, and then Manu went to Europe.
Well, I was sick in Europe. I did both of those
you
things.
doubled up.
Yeah. Just to prove himself.
Very efficient.
Yes. I was like, I can't double not do the episodes because I'm sick and in Europe. I went to like a few Christmas parties like a week before I flew back to Europe, which as my parents joyfully reminded me of every single day that I was home, was not a smart idea before a long lasting overnight flight back to Europe. So basically I arrived, went running, went to the sauna, and then died basically the next day. I was like in bed for 10 days. It was not the smartest thing to do. Well, I think I was already getting sick, but then like going running and into the sauna like after being jet lagged
that's a bit
and
much.
not having that was not smart, not the best thing.
I had to fly interstate after my 21st, the night of my 21st birthday, which was a big mistake. It's the drunkest I've ever been, and I threw up on the plane.
Oh, how fun.
That sounds so terrible.
Did you at least get it in the bag?
Not in the bag. I went to the bathroom.
I went to the bathroom, peed, came back, and then threw up on my seat neighbor.
And then threw up all over the floor and asked the clean stewardess, excuse me, ma'am.
I got to put it in the toilet, and then I got to watch the vomit sucked out into the, the vacuum of wherever it goes.
Well, actually, that's a lot more polite, though.
I would never have done it in a bag with people next to me unless I had no other choice. Like, that is one of my ultimate social phobias.
Also, can we talk about like that these bags are just ridiculously small? Like I've luckily never had to puke in one of those bags, but they're really small.
Small and narrow.
Exactly.
Yes, like if someone's projectile vomiting into them.
Yeah, you'd have to be super careful.
Whoever designed those bags has never vomited because they do not understand the force that comes in.
They're like, this is plenty. It's like this little thing. It's like, yeah, this is great.
I once got really bad food poisoning, and both my best friend and I had very bad food poisoning, and I think she must have had it worse than I did, or maybe I just threw up a lot more the night before, so I just had nothing left in my system. But it was a 1-hour flight, and because it was a very short flight just from Jeju Island back to Seoul, and the entire flight she was vomiting into a bag. And I felt so sorry for the man next to us because it was a 3-seater. It was me, her, and this man, and I was just dry retching, but I wasn't actually throwing up.
Was he in the middle? I think that would have made it amazing.
He was at least on the aisle.
He was probably like, oh no, maybe I should have showered today, like in the morning. I was planning to shower when I get to my hotel. But
I was probably thinking, like, what did I do in my past life to deserve this? This must be the worst case of karma.
Okay, so question. Do you reckon that's better or worse than sitting next to the crying baby?
Ooh.
Oh, that must be worse,
I don't know. If it's like one vomit, then I think maybe the crying baby, because sometimes the crying baby just lasts all night, but this was flight long. Like, she did not stop the entire flight.
Yeah, so you've got flight long baby versus, your sister who is apparently just a pipe that cannot be stopped. Friend.
The crying baby you can maybe kind of shut out with like loud music, but if you have
Yeah.
someone
There's
dry
nothing that
heaving
shuts out the
next to
crying
you.
baby right next to you. Nothing. No headphones are going to be cancelling that.
There's also the smell aspect. So, there
Yes.
are multiple layers of senses being involved with retching.
Which, with the baby, is a bit of a dice roll.
True. Could go either way. Yeah.
True,
Depending on why it's crying. Yeah. That's true. Well, I had the opposite. I had the opposite Orpheus experience from you, Sophie. Like last Christmas, shortly before flying. It's like my tradition to get sick when I fly back to Europe. Apparently in the winter, I've been out with the Anime Man, another Australian YouTuber,
Joey,
the Anime Man.
The Anime Man.
Well, what I didn't know was that I was not the only one. Like all four of us who had been out had been like were done. And actually, turned out I was the least affected because all the rest of them were like in bed for like a week with fever and everything. We kind of ate something bad at like a restaurant or something. But basically, the moment I got on the flight, I was like, I think I need to go to the bathroom. And then I think I went to the bathroom like 16 times on their 12-hour flight.
At that point, you might as well have said, "This is my seat."
Yeah, to the point where people started looking at me when I was just going past them. Like, sorry, going again.
Probably thinking that you're doing coke on the bathroom.
Probably.
On the flight. Yeah.
When we land, I'm going to start a business. Let's go. Oh boy. I'm going to start a YouTube channel talking about anime.
That'll never work. Don't do that.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. All right, now that we got everything out of our system, literally and figuratively, should we talk about the new One Piece anime in line with with the previous part of the conversation?
So are you talking about the One Piece or the new One Piece eggheadness that's happening? Because there's been a lot of new One Piece since the last time we recorded,
I want to talk about the One Piece first.
I'm excited.
And I just want to say, like, I've talked excessively on this podcast that I would just love One Piece to get this serialized treatment. And, like, the gods clearly listened because Liam was like, this is never going to happen. To be fair, though, I never expected it to happen either.
I've never been happier to be proved wrong.
I can't believe that Toei, I don't know, like, shared
watches
its
this podcast?
license.
Yeah.
Toei was like, these three people.
They're right. Why have we never thought of this?
They made good points. They made it past the intro somehow. And then listen to the good points we make.
Everyone who watches this has probably heard, but just in case, there is now a separate One Piece series in production that is starting from the very beginning of the manga. It's called The One Piece. It's being produced by a different studio. And so at a certain point, maybe 2024, 2025, there are going to be 3 One Piece series airing in tandem, which is the Toei anime, The One Piece, and the Netflix One Piece.
Okay, so this is just me, like, speculating. I'm pretty sure that we're not going to see this year. I would be very shocked.
Oh, shit, it is 2024. Okay,
Yeah.
I meant to say 2025, I think.
2025,
I'm still thinking
2026.
2023.
Yeah. I hope next year, but I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being, like, 2026 or something. Like, I think that's something we should at least expect as a possibility that it might take like
Aren't
a
they
year and a half
doing
to
it
get
as
there.
part of the anime anniversary though? So surely they're trying to get something up as quickly as possible.
Everything that I've read have so far said the One Piece 2025.
Isn't that the point of this project, that we're not trying to get it out as quickly as possible? don't do that. Take your time, please. Oh my god.
I did say as quickly as possible, but we also don't know how long it's been in production for.
That's a good point. So again, this is just me speculating, so like, don't take this for anything. But my impression, like knowing Toei and everything, like I would expect that when they announce something like this, it's basically just been decided that it's happening. I would suspect that they not have been working secretly on this in the background, because I feel like that might be hard to keep in also.
Wait, so what's going on? Why would Toei announce it? Isn't it
Netflix
done by
announced
Wit
it as
Studios? Yeah, Netflix.
And
I
it's
saw
in
it on
partnership
Netflix.
with Netflix.
Did Toei even announce it? Wasn't it the official One Piece channel that announced it?
Yeah,
I think
sorry, you said that when I thought you said when Toei announced it.
Maybe I did.
But like Toei has nothing to do with it, right?
No, they're on the committee, I believe. They're on the production committee.
They were like, we really can't let it go.
But I don't know what vacuous role that is. I'm assuming that they're getting some benefit out of it, maybe like a profit share or something to do with that, because otherwise, why would you give the license?
No, they must.
Because
yeah.
they are creating very deadly competition, which is what I'm excited about. Because I'm predicting that the One Piece, is going to be amazing, and it's going to make Toei go, we need to get our shit together. Because eventually, this is going to become the definitive One Piece.
I guess from their perspective, there's gonna be quite a big time lapse between when the One Piece is going to catch up to covering the same, material that that Toei
That
is.
depends at
I
what
don't know.
speed you actually have things going.
Yeah, but even then, it's like I would imagine. Well, I would hope that the One Piece does what every other intelligent any manga does, which is to do it in seasons. And if that's the case, you'd have to have a break between seasons. And usually, the seasons they come about like what? Even if we're lucky, maybe like once every 6 months.
Yeah.
Sometimes like there's 2 or 3 years in between.
But like, let's go 4 years down the line. You're looking at probably starting Water 7, any Slobby around that era. And by that time you've just wiped off a couple of hundred Toei episodes that are now kind of redundant. Like, things will catch up pretty quickly.
And I could, like, for example, for the East Blue, like, similar to the live action, what we said, like, that's not going to be a whole season. Or if it's going to be a whole season, it's going to be like a max 12 episode kind of thing. And,
What?
You don't think so?
But we didn't get to finish East Blue in one season. Like, Netflix struggled to do that. They did, like, they really struggled and had to cut out quite a number of things, had to change a lot of things.
I reckon like a standard 26 or something, like 24,
For
26.
East Blue?
24?
12 is not happening.
Especially because at least Netflix was longer episodes. You would imagine that this would be the standard, like, 24-minute
Okay,
episode.
no, East Blue's actually the easy one because there's 100 chapters. So that means you could probably do it in 30 episodes or so.
I would say they probably do about 24, like 24,
Yeah.
26. I think you could do it.
If you
12
cut it
seems
a
very
little
ambitious.
thin, yeah. 12 is wild. Manu, you get off this committee.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking like what I would pacing wise would want to see from like a highly polished One Piece anime. And I feel like if we say one season per 100 chapters, that's almost too much again, I feel. In a way, or like, would you disagree? Like, I feel like then you have like another 15 seasons.
Currently, it's like 140 episodes for 100 chapters. I'm pretty happy with 24.
I would be curious how many chapters was the entire Shibuya arc and the Hidden Inventory arc together.
Hidden Inventory was like 8 chapters?
Because I
Something like that,
really,
8, 12?
really loved, I really loved the pacing that they had in the Jujutsu Kaisen anime. Like, season 2 was like so on point with the pacing. Like, if anything, it felt almost too, like things were happening too fast from it, like, where I was like, oh man, we're already here, as the other way around, where I was like, oh, this is dragging a little bit. So I'm curious how many chapters that covered.
I felt that as well. It's about 56, 57, I think.
With Hidden Inventory?
Just Shibuya alone.
So far, season 2, it's 47 minus 25, so 22 episodes. If anything, that would mean that for 100 episodes, we'd be looking at like 100 chapters. Would be looking at 40 episodes.
I think we can
depends.
agree that it's easier to condense a little bit, I would say.
Yeah, it's. I mean, especially East Blue.
Also, I would say that for Shibuya, obviously, like, while they, for example, condensed the Hidden Inventory arc quite nicely, there's so many fighting sequences in Shibuya, like in Shibuya itself, that obviously are like stretched from time-wise, comparatively when you put it on the screen. And I do think there is things that you can like go through, like chapters that aren't like Luffy versus Crocodile, that you can probably go through at a fairly decent pace and cover them in a fairly decent pace.
That's what I'm most excited about. The fact that you use those two words together. Decent pace. I'm excited.
And again, I'm more than happy to talk about the new Egghead Island anime. And again, yes, the animation looks nice. They have stepped up their game significantly, especially when you compare it to something like Whole Cake Island or Dressrosa.
Especially those two that you just said. Especially.
Yeah. No, it's nice. I like the direction they're taking it in. Like the One Piece anime, the regular One Piece anime just will always have the issue of pacing because it's a weekly thing and because it's trying to like not catch up with the main manga without, like, for some reason they're like refusing to do anything fillery. So I'm very excited to just see this in like praying for like some crisp JJK Demon Slayer type animation, like good pacing.
From Toei
We're gonna get
or
the
Wit?
voice actors.
Well, from both, hopefully.
I don't think that's doable it's not doable in a week. You guys probably also saw like the animators complaining for even Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 and like how they're like working to death. So
I've seen that on Twitter.
like
yes.
imagine that, but like on a weekly basis. I don't think that's a great idea.
Did you guys watch the Egghead Island episode?
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually felt the pacing had improved a lot in that episode.
But, and I will say that...
You stop right
pacing,
there, Sophie.
Yeah, stop right there, because the pacing for the first episode or two of Wano was also fantastic and on point.
It was.
I want to say.
It really was.
Yeah, I agree that the quality probably won't keep up, or I'd be very happy to see if it does. But also I think an aspect of why it might have been okay is because the manga, I think Oda has been going through things quite quickly. And I think that's actually allowed the anime to sort of fill in a lot of gaps. It's sort of like the sort of last couple of episodes of the Wano arc. Even they felt a lot more like fleshed out and just felt a lot more whole and gave us that sort of closure that maybe in the manga, like we sort of just rushed through. And they are sort of doing that fillery thing where they've got a new like fact, like a little fact sheet about Sabo.
I kind of love that with Chopper and Robin at the end doing their little cute explanations.
It reminds you of what
nice.
we had. Was it during the Marineford arc when we had that? Do you remember when we had like the mafia, the Chibi mafia?
Yeah, that was so cute. That was so cute.
Yeah.
It reminds me more of Hunter x Hunter in the 2011 anime, where at the end of the episodes they had Gon and Killua doing the Hunterpedia. It's essentially the same thing. They explained a character or a concept in the world. It's cute. I like it.
It's very cute. I like it. Again, there is a big part of me that just wonders, why can't you do the cover stories in that segment? But anyways.
No, they will never be known. They are hidden text to the sacred manga readers.
What do we think? Do we think the Wit Studio will cover the cover stories?
See, that's a very good question. It would be. It would slow things down, pretty dramatically for the first couple of them. But
don't you think, Liam, that you can reasonably cover like Ace's or NL's story in like an episode or two?
2 episodes, yeah. But remember, you wanted a 12-episode season, so 2 episodes is a lot.
No, I didn't want a 12. I want a 24-episode season. I'm just saying, I was just talking about pacing. I'm not sure if at the end of season 1, or at the end, like we're at the start of the Grand Line again. I mean, it all depends how they do things, but I would prefer to like move along fairly quickly, I guess, in that new anime. And as Liam says, I feel like if they do it right, it will replace the actual anime quite quickly.
That has to be the intention, right? And speaking of replacement, the big question is around the voice actors. What do you guys think? Are we going to have the original voice actors, or is this going to be an opportunity to pass the torch? Did they?
Did they? I didn't know.
I've not seen that if they did.
I'm pretty sure I saw that they've confirmed that the original cast will come back.
Source,
really?
please.
Fact check me. The sources that I made it the fuck out.
Manu's sick brain. During his hallucinations in the sauna, he was like, this is great news. You know what would be even greater?
So there is an update on some of the voice actors. Aya Hirano, Mutsuri Tamura, Kaede Ono, Shui Sagaguchi, and Tokiyoshi Kawashima will voice characters in the One Piece remake by Wit Studio. The only one I know is Ai Hirano because she voiced Haruhi in The Melancholy of Suzumiya Haruhi. I don't know who they're going to voice, but it is interesting that there's 5 of them, and he splits the 5. Ai Hirano is also Lilith in the actual anime now. Nice. Maybe that's what this article was incorrectly citing. Maybe they were talking about Egghead instead of the One Piece.
I mean, to be fair, it is all getting very confusing slowly.
I loved when you were saying before, like, the One Piece anime, and then you had to clarify, not the One Piece anime, the original anime.
I don't know why. I feel like I read in like some article that announced it.
I don't know. This article I've got from Atify says that those actors I said are gonna voice characters in the One Piece remake, but I don't know, because they also seem to be voicing Egghead characters.
Because I don't know who they voice in the original One Piece.
I don't know if they do voice people in the original One Piece. I've never heard of Ai Hirano doing Lilith now, but yeah. Yeah, these are the Vegapunks. Those names I just read are the satellites.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I was also going to say, even if I guess they are now part of the original One Piece, and I'm not saying that they're not great voice actors, but I think the ones that we're really looking for are whether we're going to have the original Luffy, like, Mayumi Tanaka, who's now done the original anime and has now also done the Japanese dub for the live actions.
I mean, like, one thing I would be a little bit worried about is them using old sound bits from the anime and then kind of like AIing their way.
This is Wit now. We abandon everything Toei's done and we just start from the ground up, ideally.
But Liam, we are getting the Dragon Ball sound effect still, right? Please.
Yes, we are in the Toei anime, and they will never stop. It's heritage now. It's like having a heritage house. You can't do anything to it. It's just there.
It's like someone who bought like a board game like 30 years ago, and they're like, nope, we paid a lot of money for this, and we're still gonna be using it. Yeah.
We will get our value.
These are still good. We can still use them. Dad, can we have new sound effects? No, we have sound effects at home.
And so, for a little bit of Toei praise that we don't normally get, I love the new One Piece opening. They took
it's so
a
good.
big creative risk with that, and I think it
It's
turned
really
out
good.
fantastically. It might be one of, if not my favorite opening in the last, I don't know how long, like decades.
It's really, really good.
And the ending as well.
Yeah, memories again.
Yeah, memories.
It's incredibly nostalgic.
Even the art style. What did you guys think of the art style of the new Egghead Island arc?
Isn't it the same, basically?
Nope.
Did you feel like it's the same?
very
It's
different.
very, yeah.
Is it?
It's a lot more rounded. The colors are, I don't want to say more vibrant, but they are noticeably different from the Wano colors.
Yeah, right. I feel like the art style in general feels a lot more whimsical.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know if that's the right word.
I
whimsical
agree.
and like
It
romantic.
feels a bit more cartoonish, I would say.
Right. It also feels, it feels sort of like a dream sequence to me almost. And I think it would fit perfectly like with the idea of Luffy's Gear 5th and the nature of Luffy's Gear 5th.
Oh, I think
But
that's why they've
it wasn't what I necessarily expected for Egghead, which I would have imagined to be more of like an 8-bit style, just to go with that. I mean, I don't think that they would have, but like just thematically is what I would have pictured. But it works well.
I like looking at it now again, maybe it's slightly different, but I feel like it looks fairly similar to the Wano style. Or maybe
Really? I think it's day and night to Wano.
Really?
Wano is full of like these kind of sketchy, really harsh lines.
Yeah.
Now, Egghead has become a lot smoother, a lot more block.
But it still has these like inky kind of brush pen outlines, I feel, and like looking at like the palm trees and everything, that looks very similar to like the Odin flashback. Like it has
Show me
changed.
what image you're looking at.
Yeah, wait, let me send me here, for example. Don't you? I don't know. Making stuff up right now. Oh no, where's our Twitter chat there?
Almost feels like early One Piece, but sharper.
No, it does not. What?
Not like early One Piece, but I understand that feeling of sort of whimsical nostalgia. Like,
Right?
I don't know what it is about it, but it feels like it's taken me back to my youth.
Yeah.
Whereas Wano was like One Piece is growing up. This is like, all right, let's come back down here.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're looking specifically at a background, which is like, you know, the paintings that they do. Like, I think Sophie and I are talking more about the character design specifically.
Yeah.
I think I know what you mean. It's like an interesting mix. It's definitely like more refined for sure, but like at the same time they still kept the same kind of like brush pen kind of outline style for like most stuff, if that makes sense.
You think?
Well, I sort of see what you mean by that as well, Manu, like that brushstroke effect. But I think it's very different from Wano because the lines in Wano I felt were a lot more distinct, maybe, like
Yes.
thicker.
They were thicker. They were definitely
They were a bit thicker, yes, but still very like I think the Egghead one still keeps like that kind of like strokiness of it, like as if it was like drawn with an actual pen. That was very new in Wano,
Or pencil
I think.
even.
Yeah, it's like an interesting mix of things, I would say. I mean, I do like it. I do like it a lot.
It's definitely distinct.
Yeah, and again,
it feels
I think
very
it's-
refreshing, and I'm glad
It
to have it.
does. And it's like miles again from what we had in Dressrosa or Whole Cake Islands.
Yep. My only hope for those is now waiting for the One Piece to catch up in 8 years or so.
Yeah, and I will say that like I really, without like any criticism at all, I really like the art style that the anime has at the moment. But I do hope that for the One Piece we're gonna get a little bit more of a refined, like actual like realistic Mappa style kind of animation. That would be nice, I think, for One Piece too. Anyways, yes, before I was just interrupted by this rude cut from our editor for whatever reason. We wanted to talk about something we wanted
You
to
were
discuss
talking
in
about
our
the
secret
anime
break.
style. Oh, right.
I believe you said that Oda, quote, promised us Elbaf.
Oh yeah, no, we were
The
basically
Jump
so
Festa message.
because we sometimes instead of saving our discussions for the podcast as we should, we talk about the most
Yeah,
interesting.
sometimes
stuff
we just don't
during
shut up.
the
Yeah.
break. So we were kind of talking about Sophie's very sad and like doesn't want One Piece to end, and she kind of cherishes that we get more breaks so she can enjoy One Piece for longer, to which Liam and I kind of replied that honestly, according to Oda, the series probably should have already stopped like 2 years ago probably and finished by that point, not really seeing an end. And I think the point I wanted to make and then save for the podcast itself was that he keeps teasing we're going into the final saga, whatever, but then we also just got promised Elbaf. I think we can all agree should be a bigger arc than Egghead, which isn't over yet, even after over a year, and we're already like almost 60 chapters into Egghead itself. So just don't see like One Piece ending in the next 5 years, if I'm being honest.
Egghead is a really good, like, classic One Piece arc back when they used to be, 40 to 50 chapters long, like the Thriller Bark sort of days, or even Fishman Island, Punk Hazard, and then Dressrosa onwards, everything spiraled out of control.
Yeah, completely. If Elbaf is under 100 chapters, I'll be really mad. I'll say it right now. I want Nordic lore. I want to go to the moon. I want to go
like 100 chapters on Elbaf. So part of our talking was, I said how many chapters we had last year. It was 32 chapters in 2023. So 100 chapters of Elbaf is 3 years.
3 years. And we had 4 years of Wano. Then we can have 3 years of Elbaf, no?
Yeah, but Wano was something that Oda really wanted to do. It was a great adventure on the island of Samurai.
But Liam, as you will know, as a great scholar of the pirate lore, you will know that the 3 big arcs that have been foreshadowed for a long, long time have been Fishman Island, Elbaf, and then Wano.
And Fishman Island was a solid year.
But then I think
only
everyone
1
expected
year?
a lot more of Fishman Island too.
I think it was just over a year. Fishman Island's between 50, 60 chapters? And it was back in the days when chapters were very much more consistent.
Regardless of what we say, just think about the types of reveals that we got during the Egghead Island arc. You cannot say that it doesn't feel like we are wrapping up.
I don't know. I feel like we almost have more question now than before, if anything.
Yeah, but it's like questions that you get towards the end game.
We're not getting answers to like any of the real questions. We're just getting new questions like, what is the Mother Flame? What is that giant weapon that Emu has? There are now demon fruits in One Piece.
No, but like Nefertari being part of like the D-Clan, the fact that...
What do we know about the D-Clan?
We got all of the bloody Gorosei members' names in one chapter.
We did. We've been waiting for that for a very long time.
That is true. That is true. But I mean, it's not exactly
and they all sound
like
very fancy.
The lore of the series, I feel like.
I mean, now I can stop calling them the 5 elders. I can say it's Ethan and Jupiter.
JP.
Juki.
I like to call it. I don't know. I get your point. There were like a lot of like stuff is happening. I just feel like Oda tickles our balls a little bit with like some little reveals to like some questions. We still don't know what Rocks even looks like. We don't know what Emo looks like. And again, we almost have more questions now than before.
I feel like they're endgame questions though. They're not they're
But
no
they're new
longer
questions.
just expanding the world of One Piece.
I agree with Manu. I like Manu's ball tickling theory because Oda likes to pretend that he's about to answer a question. Like he'll have Vegapunk recognize the sun god Nika, but then not really say anything of substance about it. Yes. And they'll talk about the Void Century for a bit, and then Vegapunk will be like, I don't know.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe
and
I'll
then,
say something.
In tandem to that, there's a lot of new questions brought up. Like, we have clones. One of those clones is a vampire, ? We've not answered that yet.
Who else is a clone? There are clones, right? So the Seraphim, like, it's like, oh, they kind of have personality left. And like we know Kuma kind of had some personality. So will they get their personalities and freedom back? It's like, yeah, it's an endgame question, but we were not wondering about that when we left Wano. or like
yeah, I mean, look, I'm not disagreeing with you guys, but I don't think that we're gonna have One Piece for as long as you think. I feel like One Piece ending in the next 5 years from now is definitely a possibility.
It feels to me a lot like the dichotomy paradox. You know, the idea that to get from point A to point B, you first need to travel halfway, and then to do the next step, you've got to go halfway between that and halfway between that. And essentially, it never ends, because you just keep going to the next halfway mark and you never actually get to point B. That's what One Piece feels like, because over the past 10 years, we've been getting like less and less chapters. And so even though it feels like we're getting closer, it still feels just as far away as when we say started Wano to me.
I mean, maybe that's why Oda keeps taking his breaks as well. Maybe there's a part of him that feels like, we're really coming to the end. I must prolong this for as long as possible.
Let's take even Wano, which lasted for 4 years. Like, did we get a lot of answers? We kind of did, but then a lot of the big reveals of Wano were kind of, again, like questions we didn't even have. Like, no one asked, oh, is Luffy's devil fruit actually the mythical Sangon Mika fruit?
I disagree, actually, Manu. I remember you made a video on that. You specifically did a Luffy mythical Zoan fruit.
That is correct. That is correct. I think the fruit there was like the Sun Wukong fruit though, which I guess not too far away in a way. Like,
But it was a question
similar.
you were definitely asking.
All right, fair. I will say Oda did not really pose that question to us. In like, at no point did Oda really like tickle our balls in the sense that like, oh, but is Luffy really just a rubber man? I feel like it kind of came very quickly.
No, but it was about him being Joy Boy. It was how, like, what is the link between Luffy and Joy Boy? And
True.
he just went a roundabout way to explain
That has been
it.
partially answered now, yes.
Also, if we go back to, I think it was 2020 when he said that One Piece is going to end in 5 years. And then wasn't there a bit of a clarification that, and I think we have discussed this on the channel before, and I don't know if we've ever really come to a definitive answer on this. But he then went back and said that comment that he made during Jump Festa
Correct.
was when we're going to find the One Piece, and that's going to happen in 5 years. And then in this Jump Festa message, he said, we're going to go to Elbaf, and so and so and so and so are going to fight over the One Piece,
Yeah, this
which might
person
very
and
well
that
mean
person.
in 5 years from 2020, which is 2025, we might see the One Piece.
No, maybe. It's about 100 chapters away. I think there's
I think it would be wild if we actually did see the One Piece. Like, I would imagine that it's more just the Yonkos fighting against each other.
Read this? Can I ask you again? Because like I'm rereading it because I don't remember someone fighting over the One Piece. I think the wording here is, and then it said, finally, at last, it'll happen. The battle between that character and that character may lead to unexpected results, is what he said.
What about
it?
the part
Okay.
before that?
Because I
Far before
remember
that,
some
of course, I'll
part.
keep working hard on the manga as well. But this past year, many characters have faced many events, which is like such a general thing to say.
Maybe we're thinking about a different Jump Festa comment then. Because I thought they said mention One Piece as well.
If Luffy and the others can leave Egghead safely, they should be going to that island. And I also considered not taking that route, but I may not be able to stop Luffy. And then after that he says, and finally, at last, it'll happen. The battle between that character and that character may lead to unexpected results. Onward to the new
Okay,
year.
I must have read a early translation then, because the translation I read definitely said something along the lines of seeing the One Piece.
I'm looking at last year's Jump Festa message as well, and it's almost exactly the same thing. And finally, for the future of the One Piece manga, no way! That person and that person are gonna be
Will
fighting.
over that thing. Yeah, it's like, no way.
Well, in this case, he said, if I were to give it a title, I'd call it a battle royale.
He also said, hope no one dies.
Yes, he did, which I think is Garp. I hope no one dies, but maybe.
Yeah. They kind of remind me of
Probably
like
not.
2015 YouTube titles. Like that person and that person fight over that thing? No way. I hope nobody dies.
It'd be great to use Oda's Jump Festa messages as YouTube titles.
Hope
Because
no
he's
one
really good
dies.
at it. He's really good at creating that
Hope
like
no one
vague
dies
hype
this
that everyone
chapter.
immediately goes, oh, it's Shanks versus Blackbeard, obviously.
Anyways, but yeah, like just to go back to your point, Sophie, I don't think, again, like it was not stated that we'll see the One Piece. And I would be very surprised if we did. I don't think Oda would reveal the One Piece before, like maybe we'll get like a scene on Laugh Tale of Roger and like a little teaser flashback, but I doubt we'll actually get to see the One Piece like if we don't even get to see Rocks, I doubt that we'll get to see anything related to the One Piece before Luffy actually makes it there.
I would bet that we see Rocks before we see the One Piece.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah.
Maybe Rocks is the One Piece.
The lurking legend. To bring it back to another, to bring it back to another
That
Jump
one
Festa
was
message.
so long ago.
Not the lurking legend.
People are still talking about that as if
It
it
was
hasn't been
Shiki.
revealed yet.
I was shaking.
It was Emu. Although granted, I don't think it was revealed in the year Otis said it would be.
On that topic about Imu though, did you guys catch this during the last episode? this drawing of Imu. I just sent it to our chat.
I remember seeing
I feel like
it.
I've seen this
It's-
floating around on Twitter, yeah.
Like a little kid Imu. We've got a little 5-year-old mastermind.
I've actually heard that theory that Emo might be a kid, but then there is the panel where Emo actually like stands there and there's like a servant kneeling and they're significantly smaller in like the flower room. Let me see if I can find that.
I mean, I don't think this is indicative of anything. I would imagine it's sort of because during that sequence, Imu was sort of like changing shapes. So I imagine that was just one of them. But I have to say that it is pretty funny.
With this silhouette, it's definitely not looking great for like the big-breasted female emu theory.
Yeah, it's more like a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, like, would you prefer Emo to be like a completely like new original character, like someone from the Void Century or something, or would you prefer Emo to be someone we actually have seen, like met and seen in the story before?
Like Gin.
Like Gin.
Or Nell came back from space and took over.
Exactly.
Original. I think it has to be original.
Who we've met could possibly satisfy being the ultimate mastermind of the world?
Gin. I'm not gonna lie, if Gin ended up being the mastermind, that would satisfy me.
Well, then they really shouldn't have done him so dirty in the live action because they just shot themselves in the foot there.
Roger.
Oh wow, Roger. I think that would make me mad, to be honest.
It wouldn't, like the point where it wouldn't make me mad if you went back through the story and like you had like let's say like a couple of scenes with that character and you're kind of like, actually that kind of makes sense. Then I'd be happy with it. Like, yeah, why that explains why that character was there at that point, right? Then I would be like, okay, it was there. Like, makes sense. If it was like an ass pull, then I would not be happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's Oda, I'm sure he could pull it off. I have no doubt about that. Just conceptualizing it right now, though, it hurts me that it's Roger.
I agree. This is causing me physical pain to think about. I mean, we already have pretty much the full name, though, don't we? Saint Emu Nerona.
I guess so, yeah. Oh my god, this is so cursed. Let me send you this. You thought Emo was a beautiful woman, but it's actually this.
Oh my god. That's like an Attack on Titan title.
Yes, it really does. It really does.
I mean, it would be interesting if Emu was a child, because then it basically comes down to child versus child in the end.
I'm sure the theory goes into it, but it would explain a lot of the actions. Like, just a child being like, yep, let me just destroy that real island real quick. Like, have no moral qualms about it.
Yep. Bring me Vivi.
Yeah, it speaks for the
I wanna
anime
play with
community
Vivi.
and the One Piece community that everyone's just kind of expecting Emo to be like a bae. Yeah, she's gonna be smoking.
I'm guilty of making one of those thumbnails, which did really well.
But you know what? That's because Oda does it too. You know, we're all expecting Vegapunk, and the first thing that he throws at us is a smoking
Lilith.
babe in the form of Lilith. So
True.
he set those expectations.
The red herrings, yeah. But yeah, I mean, again, going back to my original point, I feel like Oda and Toei and everyone around it, like, kind of, they try to make us feel like we're starting to get answers to questions, but I feel like still we get more new questions than answers.
Nothing's being answered outright, but we're getting pieces of the answers. We have more pieces of the answers that don't quite make a full answer yet.
So yeah, we definitely get more hints and little clues about things. But again, like, it feels like we've learned a lot more about devil fruits in this arc, but technically we still barely know anything about devil fruits. Like, up until this point, no one has yet confirmed if you actually die if you eat. Like, we've never seen a character actually eat a second devil fruit for one, which I think is interesting. That we've never seen in the story, like, anyone try it and then kind of like show us what the actual consequences, right, of eating a second devil fruit, or where devil fruits come from, all these like things.
If anyone was going to try it, I would have thought it would be Kaido with the suicide hobby.
Or Luffy as the reckless one.
If something is gonna kill you, you're probably not gonna try it just, for the lols. Let's say no one's ever jumped off a building before, but allegedly if you jump off a building, you die. No one's gonna try it just to see.
Wasn't Kaido trying to awaken Joy Boy though?
Was he?
We don't really know, but I mean, wasn't it
Kaido
kind of
doesn't have a backstory. We have no idea what he was doing.
because I mean, like that's kind of like my headcanon there.
That was
where,
the
like,
theory.
We know that he learned about Joy Boy a lot, and then Luffy kind of like awakened it after almost dying.
King told him about Joy Boy, and then we never really went anywhere with it.
Sort of seemed like Kaido at one point believed it too, right? And he believed it for himself.
Like,
I
and
think,
maybe?
I think that's...
We don't
Gotta
know.
He
read the
did say you
subtext.
couldn't be Joy Boy either, but again, that was never expanded on.
No, but we gotta read the subtext, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's our jobs, I guess. And we did talk about that at great length when I'm sure each and every one of us made out huge,
Dissected.
well-detailed Kaido theories about how he's a failed joy boy, now he's a sad boy. All he wants to do is to be the savior of the world, and now he's been twisted and gone bad. So now what he wants to do is to be the enemy
Bring
and
the
kill the
next
actual joy boy, or that the joy boy needs to go through him to be the joy boy. None of that happened. He just got punched
Well,
in a
it was-
volcano.
Like, maybe a little bit, but like I feel like it could have definitely. I think we were all hoping for a way longer Kaido flashback than like the little like what did we? It wasn't even
The
two
glimpses.
chapters.
And it was peppered in. It wasn't like a cohesive flashback. It was literally just boink, boink, boink.
The Kaido flashback was more like a drinks menu because we saw a small, a medium, and then a large, and then we went back to
yeah.
I know many people have many other problems with Wano, which I don't necessarily share, but the Kaido flashback, like that, it was so short and like basically did not end up giving us as much character like explanation for why he is who he is. Like that still bugs me a little
If
bit.
Noland and Calgara can get like a 4 to 6 chapter flashback, we can do a bit more for Kaido.
And Big Mom had the exact opposite problem, where like she was kind of like while Kaido was actually strong fighting, Big Mom was really weak when it came to fighting, but she had a fantastic flashback with like so much characterization, I thought.
Did have a fantastic flashback.
I think Wano just got too long, and I think Oda knew he had to wrap it up. And I feel like the pressure was on him.
I know, why not just put that extra like 2 months into it, that extra, I mean, we know why, because the movie was coming up, but we've talked about this as well.
We needed to get to Shanks. Yeah, we needed a chapter with Shanks so we can promo the movie.
Yeah.
Ripping open old
What
wounds.
a groan. Yeah, no, this discussion is getting very, what is it, 2022?
Yes,
Come out,
yes.
is that it? Yeah.
But it's 2024.
So yesterday. So last year.
No, new year, new stuff.
I went on a stream the other day, and we just threw around One Piece predictions with some of the Joyfleet channel viewers, and there were some wild ones. Like, there were people throwing in that we're going to see Imu's face this year.
Yeah, there have been some crazy ones. We've done a channel bingo on Grand Line Review as well, which I think has been very reasonable. But people on Twitter have been making weird bingos with the most outrageous kind of crap that you've ever seen. Like meeting Luffy's mother, it's stuff like that sort of weird left field stuff that may never happen.
It's Crocodile, of course we're gonna meet her. What do you mean?
Maybe at most a silhouette.
I mean, I'm sure we'll see her, but it's not going to be like a big deal that everyone thinks it is.
But you never know. We might suddenly randomly get a Rouge flashback this year.
Rouge reappearing is on the Grand Fleet bingo.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. He was a very popular choice. The way I did it was I took the most common suggestions and I put them on the board in order of their commonality. And
I'd be
Rouge
very
made it.
down for like 10 chapters of Urouge, like as a kid, and being happy in the clouds, and then Enel comes and he like joins Enel, who seems like a nice guy, and then he turns all Hitler. And then
Wait. When I said Rouge, I was talking about...
Oh, Ace's mother. Oh,
Yeah,
I
Ace's
heard
mother.
Urouge.
I definitely... Okay, I've been saying his name wrong. I've been calling it Uroge.
that's good. That's strong. I like that.
I mean, fair enough, but yeah.
Rogue. That's cool. I mean,
Urouge coming in 2024. I
Mad
think
Monk
that's...
Urouge.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah, Rouge. Okay, so someone predicted Rouge.
No, I was saying you never know.
oh, we
never
need
know.
a Rouge flashback. Okay.
And then when you said that was
You
a
think
common
a Rouge flashback.
suggestion, I was thinking freaking wild.
I felt like a Rouge flashback is like not that off. I mean, not sure for 2024, but 2025 might be good.
Maybe. It depends. You might not get a flashback. Not all of the worst generation do.
Oh, but come on, like the Burka thing and NL and everything. Aw, we need
I
a
agree
Rouge
with you.
flashback.
It'd be nice, but it might not necessarily happen.
No.
They might just say, I'm from that island that Dick destroyed who's on the moon now.
Or is he?
Yeah, it depends on whether we're really going to go to space or not,
NL coming back was also frustratingly
year.
popular on the bingo board.
Yeah.
It's on it.
I mean, to be fair,
Hey,
if it ever happens,
The most
it's gonna
wild
be
card
on
prediction,
LBAF.
but it's there. Why?
flies in on Uranus.
Pourquoi? No,
Yeah, he
no,
does.
please.
Oh, right. We said no king shaming. I think you said earlier, Sophie.
If he was going to come back, I would have thought Egghead because of all the automata and how they're connected to Karakuri Island, Vegapunk's home.
Okay, my argument. I put Enel in my Elbaf prediction video too, because you have the entire like entrance, the official entrance to the Sky Islands, right? And then we have the giant tree thing, like probably the Atom Tree on Elbaf, possibly
Yggdrasil.
leading up to the Sky Islands there, and so like Burka possibly being like located somewhere up there. Like that would have been like my rationale there. And then the God of Thunder, Nordic mythology and everything.
Maybe.
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah, we'll see.
And then Zoro will eat Enel's devil fruit, as we all know. That's definitely happening, right?
Oh my
No,
goodness!
Nami-
Actually,
Nami
talking
will do
about
that.
Zoro, I know this is just a broken record at this point, but how good was the Toei hype of Zoro in the last episode?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I love Zoro because I love all the Straw Hats, but the way that Toei loves Zoro, it's just...
It's something
I'm
else.
a big
It's
Zoro
on a different
fan,
level, but I
it's-
appreciate it.
It's been out of control, yeah, for sure.
I'm fine with it.
Even during Wano, I was like, who's the main character right now?
I mean, there are times when that was Oda's fault. The thing that makes me nervous about the bingo card we have is that half of all of the things there depend on us actually getting to Elbaf. If we go there at all, which we probably are, 99%, but Oda hasn't, promised it in exact words. And given that there's only like 32 chapters, I don't know, it just makes me a little nervous for all of my things to get ticked off.
I agree because I think a lot of it could happen in 2025.
Yeah.
Because
If Elbaf is going to be the 100-chapter long arc that
mean,
Manga
yes.
demands...
As Liam says, I think like again, who know, like hard to predict the future as anything. We should do politics next maybe and and world economics. But
I mean, there's an election coming up in the US.
yeah,
right?
fun. Good thing none of us is American. I don't think that's a blessing right there. I mean, we're
But
all
our
still going to be
audiences-
affected, but but hey. But I think for 2023, as you said, like if it's another like 35 chapters ish. Let's say we have like 10 or so left on Egghead. I could and it could be more, obviously. Who knows, like how long, like depends. Are we just
Could be
getting
less.
started? Is there like more of a fight? Like who knows? Like there could so much still be happening. I feel like, again, if Oda had wanted to wrap it up soon, he would have probably tried to wrap it up around New Year's. And the fact that he didn't, you never know. But like I would suspect that it keeps going for a little while longer. And then maybe there's a little more interlude there. Straw Hats traveling again, and then we see like some more updates again, what's happening in the world. And then I could see maybe at the end of the year, like towards like Christmas, we get like some like arriving at Elbaf thingy, starting into the new
latest,
year.
I feel.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for like middle of the year.
I was thinking sort of around the same time that we got to Egghead after Wano is probably
Quite
when we'll
late
get to...
in the year then, like September,
Yeah.
October.
I was thinking just after like the halfway mark.
I mean, that would be a nice point, I think,
wow.
in time to get there.
We'll see. We'll see
I
who's
guess
closer.
we have our own predictions.
Liam, is that before or after Zoro and Sanji get their
All right, we're
fruits?
taking bets. And Nami's devil fruit based on one of your recent videos.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we wrap up, we would be remiss not to thank our wonderful members.
Thank you, members.
So today we are going to thank. You think after doing this weekly, I'd have this.
You'd have them ready, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know when I became the designated member reader.
Since the
but-
very
Right at the
beginning.
beginning. That was the very first time we did it.
You said you
Well-
wanted it.
Oh right. Okay. Well, I'm sure we're gonna all say thank you to
mean,
Nico Tachi.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Nico
Nikotachi.
Tachi. And to be fair, Sophie keeps all of the member money for herself anyway, so...
Oh, that is
Yeah,
true.
she's very greedy like
Yep.
that. She takes all
I-
that
yeah.
channel revenue as well. From Grandline Review, it's weird like that. I don't know how she did that.
Yeah. How do you even have access to that? Yeah.
It's the warrior of litigation powers. We signed a
I
contract.
subpoenaed it. Yes. All right.
Okay, all right.
See you next time.
Bye bye. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, maybe. Bye.
Maybe. Or not.